Hey everyone, welcome to the show. This is the first Alpha Mindset show. I think that's the title of this. We named it, right? Right.
I think so.
With
Good
Be
company.
the Sophisticated Man. So what I'd like to do with this show is well, we're going to discuss a topic. Anyone who's on the stream, feel free to put your questions in the chat. We're here to help answer your questions. I'm going to try and see if I can work something to where people can call up on my Skype, maybe, and you're going to do a call and shout. So I'm going to test that out. So we'll do that, and then we're also going to do some panel discussions. I was talking to Tino about that. Bringing in some other people in the space onto the show just to give you guys some killer advice to level up in life and everything. So be sure to subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and be sure to check out Tino's channel, The Sophisticated Man. But yeah, today we wanted to talk to you about things that could kill your confidence. So yeah, this I guess this could happen even when you're on your path. You could be doing stuff that's going to be sabotaging your self confidence, and
Hmm.
it's important that you have an awareness of all this because if you are not aware of this, you won't be able to pull yourself out of it. And plus, you don't want to repeat any of these bad habits that they're just going to continue to kill your confidence. So,
Hmm.
where do you want to start out with this, Tino? Because
Yeah,
you said this would be a good topic, and I agree.
for sure, man. And I kind of want to bounce off what you said, and I think it was a really nice segue. You were talking about, self-sabotaging. I think
Mhm.
that's a huge one. Like guys that they know they want to do better and they have the intention to, but some of their behaviors can be limiting or they can really sabotage that growth and that progress. I
Mhm.
know for myself, like, fitness is a really big goal of mine. I've been trying to get in really good shape and get in the gym and eat healthy. And one of my self sabotaging habits is, during the weekend, sometimes I'll like binge eat some snacks. I'll kind of get off my routine, not move around my body as much, so I'm not burning as many calories. So like,
Mhm.
I think every guy has some type of self sabotaging behavior, and a lot of the times we're unaware of it, like you said, and that lack of awareness causes that to, I think, just become worse and worse. So
Mhm.
when you identify it, spot it out, and do things to try to correct that.
Right, exactly. And these are not just like this could be habits with anything. This could be like a mindset habit,
Yeah.
um, an action that you're doing that's like not serving you. You know,
Hmm.
just being around people or other influences that are not serving you as well. I mean, so this can be like a lot of things too, and it's good to have this awareness. Like I don't know, like sometimes too when I get in those moments where I don't take action on things, and when I procrastinate, that's when I notice like my lack of confidence. But when I'm actually going out there and taking action, that's when I kind of get that confidence, the inner confidence. I can just feel it like emanating. I just want to go kick some ass. But when I'm
Hmm.
not, sometimes like I judge myself when I'm not taking it because like I'm
Right.
like I said I was going to do this and I didn't do it, and that can you continue to do that, you can get down on yourself and you'll continue to like you'll be able to say to yourself, well, I can't accomplish that.
Hmm. Yeah, I mean, when you take action and you just get yourself in an uncomfortable situation or something you're not used to, it just builds that momentum, and it can carry you a long way. But a lot of the one of the biggest problems that I see and I've had in my life is sometimes we want to take action, but there's so much going on, or like there's so much information that we're consuming. There's just so many different avenues that we're getting advice from that sometimes it's like paralysis by analysis. You think so much about it, but you're not actually moving towards anything. You're not actually taking that step.
Mm-hmm.
And that's one of the biggest confidence killers is not taking action and not progressing, like not moving towards your goals. Because it's one thing if you fail and you get rejected or something goes wrong, but that's just a part of the journey. It's another thing to sit there and not take the action and just not know. Like you don't know what you don't know. So yeah, it's taking action is key really in any situation.
Mm-hmm. Right. And I realized when you go out there and you go take the action, that's when you kind of, when you get into that state of flow, that's when you can, I don't know. I just noticed like I'm a totally different person, when I go
Yeah.
out there compared to when I'm not taking action.
Hmm. Yeah, I mean, there's a quote out there. It says like I forget who said this, but they said like inaction breeds fear and doubt, while action breeds confidence and clarity. So like the more that you move forward and kind of just take that step, even if it's not perfect and you don't know exactly what to do, it just reveals what you need to do after you get moving. Like a lot of people think that, well, I need to have everything figured out before I take a step, or I need to have everything planned and everything, all my ducks in order. But life isn't really like that sometimes. You have to account for the things that don't go your way or how you thought it was going to. So like, you really figure out what you need to do as you're moving forward. That's what I've learned.
Mhm. Right. No, that's good. I don't know. Like, I think too. Like, I mean, inaction is a confidence killer, but also, kind of not, letting your like kind of staying in a negative mindset too. I think
Hmm.
could be, a bad, confidence killer as well. I mean, if you're constantly in a negative mindset. Hey, Randall, welcome to the show. Thanks for joining, even though you're working.
Keep
um,
working.
but yeah, no, but when you get stuck in a negative mindset too, you got to be aware of that because that can
Hmm.
also like, you know, keep you from building your confidence, and you're not going to be able to to move forward with that because if you're in a negative mindset and you're thinking negative all the time about shit, and
Hmm.
you allow that negativity to control you, you're not going to take the proper action. I think that's one of the reasons why guys are afraid to go out there, to take action when it comes to like creating a life that they want, especially approaching women, is because they're in this negative mindset that they can't do it and they can't get out of it and they get stuck.
Hmm. No, I would agree with that. I think a lot of this comes down to your belief in yourself and your mindset around, the goals that you have or just the things that you want to accomplish. If you believe you can do those things, and you can believe that that's something you deserve, something that you are willing to work towards, then you can make it happen. But it really all starts with your mindset. And
Hmm.
if it's negative and you're always thinking that this is this is out of my reach, or this girl's out of my league, or I can't get that job, or I can't acquire that skill, I can't start that business. It's going to reflect in your behavior because you're going to
Hmm.
you're going to feel that way.
Hmm. Right. And when you actually go out there and you take the action, the fact, even though like shit doesn't work out the way you want it, the fact that you're going out there and taking the action and getting the experience and learning. We were talking about this on our last show about just going out there, taking action and getting the experience. I think Randall was talking about daytime approach or something in his messages.
Hmm.
Hey, so no, definitely want to be aware that to get your mindset pumped up, go out there and take the action, even like if shit does not fucking work. You
Yeah.
just want to go out there and go talk to that girl. Even don't like just focus on not don't focus on getting a number. I know that's what you want, but I mean just to fucking get out of that mindset and see for yourself that
Mm.
you can like go out there and take, when you take that action, that's going to change the way you view things, and you're going to have that shift in your mindset.
Hmm. Yeah, I love that you said that because, like, that kind of, even that in itself can be a big confidence killer when you're so focused on a certain outcome and you're so locked into what you think is going to be the result of what you're doing, and it doesn't happen that way. You get let down. You start to feel like you're a failure. You think, oh man, like I didn't do it right. But
Hmm.
you got to train yourself to be outcome independent. Like just like your example, like if you're approaching a girl and you want to talk to her, don't think, man, I need to have sex with her, or man, I have to get her phone number. Like, just start a conversation, see where it goes, see if you even like her. Like, just kind of start from that place, instead of looking 50 steps ahead, because I know us guys definitely like to do that.
Hmm. Right, exactly. I think because when you focus on so many things at once, that's going to keep you from taking action.
Right.
And you got to just remember just to have that to go out there and have that conversation, regardless. Don't worry about what's going to happen when you don't think like don't feel like you're want to talk to this person, this woman, because you're in a bad mood or you have a mindset. You're going to have to negate that thought out of your head. Sometimes that's what I've had to do is negate, even though like I got that that mindset. I just accept it and I just go for it. I just think taking action is a lot better than not taking action. Because like I've learned when I've always gone out there and taken action in my life, that has helped me grow my confidence and develop a state of flow where I was continue on doing things that were benefiting me.
Mhm. Yeah, I mean, the only way you're gonna get in that flow state, like you said, is just to continually move forward and to continually take action. Even if like it doesn't matter where your skill set is or how experienced you are. I think a lot of guys get caught up in that and they think, well, I need to have X amount of status or X amount of experience to start doing this stuff. You can start right now with where you currently are. There is no perfect time or there is no perfect, point to start taking action. You could do it now. It's not going to be perfect action, but like you're saying, it's better than no action.
Right, exactly. Well, so like, I was doing a show the other night with Coach Justin and everything, and we were talking. It was called like how the red pill can be harmful towards guys because there's a lot of good things about it. There's a lot of things ways that can be harmful towards guys.
Hmm.
And one of the things we had talked about is like, a lot of these guys out there, are in this mindset that they got to have the looks, the money, and the status in order to talk to
Right.
girls, and they think they can't like, get that, and they can't talk to girls until they have that. But really, they should
Hmm.
be working on that while they're working on their looks, money, and status.
Right. No, totally. I agree 100%. Like that should always be the main foundation of men's work. Like you need to have that personal development. You need to have that foundation of working on your looks, working on your money, working on your life to have an exciting life because, the idea is you want to basically invite this woman into your fun life. You don't want to just make that like make women the center of your world to where everything you're doing is just to get chicks. I mean, it's never gonna work out from you. I'm speaking from experience. I was there at one point, and it just led to misery and just pain and, and suffering. So like the more that you can make your life better, you'll be fulfilled. You'll feel more confident. You'll feel just a hell of a lot better about yourself. And women are gonna find that attractive. They're gonna want to be a part of that fun life that you're building.
Hmm. Right. And see, another thing I think about that too is like you want to be going out there and talk, building the confidence to go talk to women while you're working on the looks, money, and status, because like
Hmm.
money and status can go away, but the skill never
Right.
dies. And like if
Hmm.
you're going out there and so say that some guy like has obtained like the status and the money, they can
Hmm.
lose it all in one day. Then they're going to think, well, then I can't talk to the girls. But you've got to change your mindset just by working on that while you're going to talk to
Yeah.
the girls while you're working on the girls, So that way, if you lose that, you know that you can get women without that.
100%. Like if you only rely, I kind of want to add to that. Like if you only rely on looks or money or status to get girls, then you never really had good game, or you never really had good social skills because those things are just like you're saying. It's an addition to what you can do with women. It can help you increase the quality of women that you have, but you can also get them without having the best looks, the best money just then. Like you can start
Mhm.
with where you're currently at.
Right, exactly. And plus, like I said, you've proven yourself that you can go talk to women without the looks, money, and status. So definitely, like take action on all that stuff. I mean, yeah, it can wear you out, but you want to just go out there and take all that action. Whatever action you can do, but better than doing nothing. Better than having this mindset saying, "Well, I can't have this until like I achieve this."
Hmm.
Go out there and make it happen for yourself.
Right. Yeah, I agree totally. Because like, it's never going to be a perfect moment. There's rarely ever perfect ways the way we think it up in our head. It's it's just you. It's just your ability to make it happen and just make that opportunity.
Hmm. Now let's get back to the mindset thing. I mean, do you think like your mindset, like the negative mindset that most guys have about their opinions about world and women, is stopping them from getting success and building confidence in their lives?
Mhm. Yeah, I mean, I think it's a big factor. I know a lot of guys on my channel comment about like, oh, I don't know what to say to this girl. Like I've never really had a lot of success in this area. Guys that just feel like super nervous and stuff like that. Um, And basically, what I try to tell my audience through my videos is like, you just gotta like you gotta work on yourself first. Like you gotta work on your limiting beliefs. You gotta work on your lifestyle, like we were talking about. You gotta work on your confidence. You gotta work on getting your money together, your physical, emotional, mental health, all spiritual health, like everything kind of sorted out first. Um, so when you can get to that place, when you're come from when you come from a place of feeling complete and fulfilled, by yourself, you really change your mindset in that whole process because you start to think, wow, like I have a ton of shit to offer. I'm a high value person. I have value to offer the world and to women. And it just changes the way you think about yourself. It changes the
Hmm.
way that you carry yourself, how you talk to people,
Hmm.
because you start to respect yourself.
Hmm. Just, you think it's a good idea? Like, I don't know, what do you think about this? Is that actually for guys to be that person that they want to be, because
Yeah.
they be that, say they want to be that rich guy, success guy with women. They actually when they, even though they don't have it, they, be that person. They're going to start displaying some of the behaviors, and the more and more they display those behaviors, the more they're going to develop that intuitive,
Mhm.
power to like manifest that into your life. Do you think that's
Yeah.
a proper way to do another strategy for like mindset?
Yeah, yeah, most definitely. And it's funny you bring that up because I've been seeing a lot of content creators talk about this. I'm starting to talk about it a lot more too. But
Mm-hmm.
like, just you kind of want to idealize the best version of yourself in like 5 years from now, 10 years from now. Like, what does that guy look like? What does he sound like? What things does he do? Who does he hang around? What behaviors does he have? What bad habits did he break? And like start showing up as that guy now. Like start showing up as that guy today because you have to develop that mindset of who that guy is and just start acting that way now to where you really start to create it and you build that momentum like you said, you manifest that person by just believing that that's already you and it just starts happening for you.
Mm-hmm. Right. And that takes discipline to have that mindset. So for a guy who may not have the mindset to be confident around women, they have to develop the discipline to actually, think that they can have it and have and
Mhm.
display those behaviors. I mean, and when you can have to develop that discipline and train your mind to like do that, like you're going to be able to like, act as if,
Mhm.
and that just takes work.
Yeah. Yeah, it takes work, it takes discipline, it takes consistency, it takes belief, like belief that you can do it and belief in yourself and in your process. Like when you can fully buy in and commit to it and really know what it is that you want. I think that's another big issue and maybe a nice little segue into another confidence killer is just lack of clarity. A lot of guys just they don't know what they want out of life, out of relationships, out of a career. Like they just don't know, and that causes a lot of just self doubt and confusion, and it keeps guys stuck because they're not clear on what it is that they want out of life.
Right. Why do you think that is? Because I mean, I know like that was my biggest issue too. I didn't have
Hmm.
clarity, but I learned like once I but had clarity, I was able to focus on things and
Hmm.
have a better perspective on things.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, I think there's a few different reasons. One that I always like to talk about on my channel is just people don't know themselves very well. Like
Right.
if you don't know who you are, it's impossible to know what it is that you want. So like I
Right.
always promote guys to, spend some time alone, just spend some time by yourself to really figure out what is important to you. Like have some time for self-reflection. Start journaling your thoughts, start journaling your dreams, the things that you are passionate about, the things that you like, things that you don't
Hmm.
like. I just think that there's when you lack self-awareness, I think it's really hard to be clear on what it is that you want.
Right. No, it's weird that you mentioned that because like about a year ago, I started to work with this inner game coach and everything, and that's one of the
Hmm.
first things that he teaches, like
Yeah.
figure out yourself. Actually, one of his one of his products I got was like he asked like over like 200 questions in the product. They're right
Damn.
answer all these questions. I'm like, when is this going to end? But
Jeez.
the purpose of that though is so you get to know you.
Mm-hmm.
And when you're writing out, all these, answers to your questions, you're also, the way you write them out is also helping you out with the conversational skills. You're going into detail with your conversation, and that's going to, I realize, like when you write down the reasons why this and why for that, like when I'm going out there and having my, conversations with women, I'm more detailed in my interactions. I'm able to like paint a picture with them rather than just give them
Yeah.
something simple. They really like that. Even when I do some dirty talk to some of the girls, I like to paint my I'm just very picture and stuff in the text messages. And you're like, you know what? I'm so clear, and then the painting's so clear. They're like, oh man, it's as if I'm really there with you right now.
Yeah, I mean, that clarity like that is power, man. Like when you really know what it is that you want, it just makes it that much more attainable. And like you start to build that action momentum even quicker because you know what you want, so you're willing to take that action to get there. So it's powerful, man. Like when you just know on a deep level like what you really want out of life and what kind of lifestyle you want to live. I mean, you could pretty much do anything from there.
hmm Right, because I think once you have that foundation, like when you're able to act upon stuff, it's easier for
Hmm.
you to make decisions and stuff. Where if you're just like confused about, you don't have a clear vision of what you want, you're just going to go like all over the place, and
Right.
you're going to be wasting time. You're not going to have your ideas are not going to be as clear because you don't have an idea of what it is you want, and you don't have clarity on that. So when
Hmm.
you're able to like have clarity on things, like it just makes your life a lot easier because when you have clarity, like I said, it's easier to act upon things, and like easier for you to understand yourself as a guy
Yeah.
and figure out how to work around some of the inner game issues that you have and stuff. Like just like another exercise I did too that with this other guy is like we kind of wrote around like some of the like judgments and everything you have about yourself and women and stuff. So you had clarity on that, and then
Hmm.
when you have that clarity, you can learn to deal with those particular issues.
Hmm. Yeah, and you bring up a really good point, and it's not just clarity of like the positive things, it's also the negative things. And I think that's maybe a big reason a lot of guys don't, or not a lot of people in general just don't like to do that because you're basically exposing your weaknesses and you're exposing some of your limiting beliefs, some of the negative self-talk that maybe is there, maybe the negative stories that you still have in your mind. And we as human beings just don't like to admit that we have flaws, and we don't like to look at the things that we or things that are actually holding us back. And part of that clarity is looking at those things and not brushing them to the side and being like, oh, it's not a big deal, that's not me. It's like, no, that is me. Like, I am this kind of person, and this is what I want to change. That's a huge piece of it.
Yeah, right. Because when you have clarity on shit that's like keeping you from moving forward, you'll know what you need to change. You'll
Mhm.
know, you'll be like, okay, well, this happens every time I get this, feel this way every time I want to go talk to a girl. And then when you have that awareness all the time, you're going to be like, well, this happens all the time. And when you're
Yeah.
working on that, you can learn to deal with that particular thing that's keeping you from doing it.
Mhm.
Same goes with your interactions. You can be going out there and you can be saying to yourself, "Oh God, what am I doing wrong in my interactions? I'm not getting a phone number. I'm, not getting a date. What's going on?" And
Mhm.
but when you have that clarity, like when you're out there, when you're focused, when you're in the moment talking to a woman, I mean, you'll be able to, you'll be able to see, okay, what you did right and what you did wrong, and change that for next time. And that all
Mhm.
goes clarity. And you set your then a plan to move forward beyond that, just implement it until it gets fixed.
Right. Yeah, and I think it all starts with being curious. Like if you actively want to participate in your growth, which is something I recommend you do, you need to start asking questions about, all right, what did I do well this time? What did I not do well? What can I improve on, the next time I take action? Because if you're doing things constantly wrong again and again and again, and you're not self-evaluating and analyzing your progress, and you complain about it and you talk about, well, man, I suck, this and that. Well, look at what your action, like look at what's happening. Is anything happening that you feel like is a negative, or things that you feel like are getting in your way? If you're not doing that, then that's probably the problems. You're not looking at it.
hmm I mean, like I said, guys, this is like you want to like have all these awarenesses on your while you're on that journey because this is really going to help you move forward. Like a lot of guys just give up because they don't have that clarity, and there when they don't have that clarity, they continue to do the same actions and they don't believe they can get what they want. But when you have that clarity and stuff, you'll be able to realize, well, hey, this is what I'm doing wrong. This is
Mhm.
what I need to focus on. This is where I need to be. This is where I want to go.
Mhm. Yeah, self-awareness is huge, and it's something that I don't think I know a lot of creators do talk about it, but I don't think there's enough that do talk about how like critically important that is, especially as men. If you want to be in this like personal development, space that we're all in, um, it's it's an unavoidable part of the process. Like you need to grow that.
Right, exactly. Um, so let's see. So we covered, clarity, mindset, action.
Yeah.
Um, let's see what else can kill your confidence. I don't know. What do you think about like your fitness? Like, you think like this not? Do you think like not going out there and exercising the way you perceive yourself, that could self perception could be another thing, or fitness?
Yeah. No, definitely. I think fitness is huge. I mean, I think fitness is such a funny analogy to life because, I recommend any guy starts getting into fitness, whether it's weight training, it could be CrossFit, like you like to run, do marathons, like whatever it is. But I think it's such a great analogy for life and like its challenges because, so for me, I like to weight train. And if I'm benching, on the bench and I'm thinking like I need to get this rep in, it's like one left and I'm just really struggling. You can use that analogy for life and like, if when there's resistance in life, for example, when there's things that are tough or heavy and you're feeling like the stress of it, you need to kind of push through and get yourself back to or get yourself I guess further than where you currently are and grow that quote unquote that muscle in your life or in yourself, and that comes from just repetition and being in consistently and coming back to the gym again and again and being disciplined. So fitness is huge. I mean, it builds a lot of, it builds confidence, it builds discipline, it builds consistency. There's just a lot of great things that come from it aside from just
Mhm.
the physical.
No, that's right. Because I mean, when you can get into the habit of working out, and and just develop that discipline to keep up with the routine, a time where you actually go in and do that, at certain amount of days that you go into the gym,
Hmm.
that will help you prepare you to be disciplined in other areas of your life too.
Right. 100%. Yeah, it all bleeds over. Like how you do one thing is how you do basically everything. Like it just cascades down.
hmm No, that's true, man. And like, I guess like, yeah, I know. And also, like, when you work on stuff, it gives you that energy too. You can bring
Hmm.
that in there. I don't know. I've always worked out, but when I take a break from working out, I always get lazy. I don't want to do shit. But I don't know, I just get in this flow, like you get this energy after working out and stuff. I'm just all pumped, ready to do this and that.
Hmm.
It's like a jolt in my interactions. But I mean, I like to socialize when I go to the gym too, as well. So I
Sure.
work on my social stuff at the gym.
Hmm.
Because I got your regulars there and everything. But I mean, so that's another perk I could get out of it. But it kind of gets me, working from home and everything, kind of
Hmm.
all by myself most of the day. So I got to like get out of my non-conversational shell and fucking be a social. That's the only bummer about working from home.
Hmm.
But that's I noticed that like I can just go out while I'm working on my muscles and shit and go out there and just chit chat to get. So I'm ready when I go out to if you want to go talk to girls and stuff. I'm all like ready to go do that.
Hmm. No, I feel that, man. I work from home as well, and it's hard when you don't have all those conversations throughout the day. Like I'll have maybe three or four on an average day, just talking to clients or talking to just, my coach or just other people. So like, and if you're in our position where you do work from home, it's good to just get out of your comfort zone every now and then. Like Rob said, meet people in the gym, meet people at the grocery store if you go a lot, like just start conversations and just kind of, practice your social skills. It's a great way to build confidence too.
Yeah, exactly. Those social confidence. Yeah, because
Mhm.
that's one thing I realized. Like when the more I did that, yeah, it just made me easier. Just to go have conversations with people, like even help improve my conversations on dates and everything too.
Yeah.
Because when you're out there exercising your social muscles and you're being social, like you're just going to prepare you for a bunch of other things. That's going to flow into another area of your social life.
Mhm. Yeah, I like to call it being like socially lubricated. Like you kind of just you warm yourself up and you start talking to everybody. So but when the time comes when you're on a date or when you want to approach a girl that you find attractive, it's just going to be like second nature because you're already doing that. You're already talking to people, and just practicing being social and practicing communication skills. So when you do that, it's like nothing.
Hmm. Right. I don't know. That's another thing well, that's kind of helped me build my confidence. But when I
Hmm.
get into that, like, but I always make a habit to go social. I'd be social regardless of what's going on because I realize that's important. Kind of build my social muscles there because you want to like work out your social muscles. So
Hmm.
you're not like when because if you don't work them out, you want to go approach a girl or just talk to anyone who's going to be like in your shell and everything. I don't
Right.
want to get there, but I found like the more I exercise my social muscles, I can actually go out to a nightclub by myself and just meet new
Hmm.
people without having to go with my friends, which makes everything so better than having to go with the friends sometimes. Because sometimes like you have bad wingmen and everything, they can like
Oh yeah.
really bring down your interaction. So, but
Hmm.
the more you do that, like you just be independent. You don't have to rely on your friends. You can just go out there and meet new people, which makes life more exciting.
Yeah. No, I totally recommend if any guys that are listening, if you haven't gone, it doesn't have to be a nightclub if you're not into like the bar scene and stuff like that, but it could be anywhere. Like if you want to go to the park or if you want to go to a yoga class, for example, just anywhere where there's probably going to be like a lot of women. I definitely recommend trying going out by yourself and just testing your limits and testing your social skills because you're really going to see some of the things that are holding you back and things that you're well at because when you're in a group and you're talking to people, sometimes it's hard to gauge how well you're doing in that interaction because everybody else is contributing. When you're by yourself, you can literally just see what is happening in the interaction because you're the only one there. So
Hmm.
it's a great way to just kind of test where you're at and kind of see what where you are socially.
Right. No, that's true. But yeah, like like I said, you don't have to go to a nightclub, but go out to parks and stuff.
Hmm.
There's a lot of those over here, which is good. It's like 80 degrees here, which is so nice.
Jealous, man. Jealous. I got it's like starting to get warm out in Pittsburgh. It's like 50 degrees now.
Oh wow. Well, it ain't that bad, but it's weird
No.
because it gets down to like the 40s at nighttime.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, last week it was like in the tens. So it was
oh
cold as
wow,
shit. Yeah.
that's some crazy shit. So yeah, getting back into like the confidence thing, I think
Mhm.
things that just like I think also another thing that can destroy your confidence is being around people who are just going to be toxic in your life
Yeah.
and not support you and criticize you for doing this and that.
Mm.
I found like I had to like let go of a few friends, like even some people I met on my journey who were into the same thing. I eventually had to cut them off because they got into hardcore drug problems and everything,
Mm.
and I just didn't want that to be a part of that. But just being around people who can like bring you down or can kind of like are not like on like some successful path because if you're not hanging out with successful people, I mean
Mhm.
that could take you down the wrong path as well. I mean, if you're hanging around people who just want to get drunk and you know do drugs all the time, that could be bad for you and
Mhm.
hinder you from getting success.
Mhm. Yeah, I mean, it's true what they say, like, you show me your friends, and then I'll tell you your future. Like, you are really the product of the people that you hang around. So, if you hang around people that, are into negative things and they're not really into developing themselves, they're not into growth, they're not into trying to make a better life for themselves, and that's what you're going to start thinking. That's what you're going to start behaving like and just doing what they do. I know for me, I had to cut a lot of people off too in the past, from high school and just people I knew from college, and we would do a bunch of dumb shit. Like we would just go around and like just like smoke weed out of my car and just like drive around the mall and just like do some really dumb, like reckless things. And I had to get away from that. I had to kind of venture out on my own and figure out the path that I wanted to walk. And I think once you do that and you can identify it, which comes back to the clarity aspect of what we were talking about.
Mhm.
When you can do that and find a lane that makes sense for you, find a path, then people will naturally gravitate towards that. And then
Mhm.
that's eventually going to be the people that you probably connect the best with. And then you just
It's so true. Yeah, I realized that too. Yeah, and
for
like
sure.
I was on my own path. Like I kind of draw those people who are successful in my life, even some of the mentors that I have, fortunate to work with.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just how it goes. Like when you have that direction, the people that are on a similar journey or something have a journey that like coincides with what you're doing, you're naturally just gonna like find these people. They're gonna run into you at some point, and you as a result, you also naturally repel people that aren't on the same wavelength, people that aren't doing similar things. They're not going to relate to you anymore. They're not going to, find value in that relationship anymore. Um,
Mhm.
that's why, like, a lot of the reasons that people kind of lose touch after high school is like we just go down different journeys and we all go down our own paths. So it's just a part of life.
Right, that's true. I mean, do you think too, like, when you're on your journey towards success, you're gonna start attracting some of the girls that you wanted to attract who are gonna be an influence,
Hmm.
in your life by supporting you, stuff like that.
Yeah, most definitely. I think that's one of the biggest things is, when you can really be on your path as a man, like you're going to find women that are naturally attracted to the life that you're building and they're naturally interested in who you are and what you do. So that's a huge piece of it. Like when you can really focus on making your life better and improving yourself and working on just all the aspects of self-development, you are definitely going to find women too are going to be attracted to that, and they're going to say, well,
Mhm.
like, what's this guy doing? Like, what's he building? I want to be a part of this. And then again, the same kind of thing, like you're naturally going to filter out the women that don't really fit your lifestyle. They don't really fit what you're trying to do. You have to almost have to think of it like you're the CEO of your life, and you're hiring your employees, right? Like
Mhm.
if somebody makes sense in your life, if somebody like a friend or a girl or just a business associate, coworker, doesn't matter who it is, if they make sense for what you're doing in your life, then it's just it just naturally kind of just works out. It just naturally kind of like works that way.
Right. And yeah, and another thing I noticed too, like, when you kind of are on your own path and, trying to work on your success and build your confidence, like you're gonna start to look for more than just looks when it comes to women. Like
Yeah.
eventually, like because you're gonna filter out all like the girls who are just kind of like trashy and toxic. You'll be able to realize that. You'll be like, well, yeah, she has some nice titties and some ass, but that the way she does this, she's drinks and everything. Just
Yeah.
it's gonna be like a turnoff for you.
Hmm. No, I totally agree. Like when you start to level yourself up as a man, your standards get higher. Your interests change. The things that you tolerate end up changing. So like if you're a really successful guy and let's say you're really really organized and you hate when clothes are all over the place, and you're dating a girl who is a slob and like there's just clothes everywhere, she doesn't take care of her space or herself, you're probably not going to be that attracted to her, in the long term, maybe short term, because she might be beautiful, she might be physically attractive, but you're going to want more from that than just the looks once you kind of reach a certain level of you can call it status, but just a level of, I think, just improvement.
Yeah, growth, like growing your mindset
Yeah,
and the
your
way you
growth.
think about shit. I mean, but yeah, that was always important though. Like I always like at first I was just like, okay, yeah, I just want this girl 'cause she looks super sexy and everything. But
Yeah.
then, like, if you want to, after a while, you're gonna have to develop standards and shit. Like, okay,
Mhm.
this girl gonna be the type of girl. Okay, I'm just gonna knock her up once, and they'll have sex
Mhm.
goodbye, or it's gonna be a girl who I'm gonna bring back, and we'll do a few more other rendezvous and have some adventures together. Because I kind of looked at that because like it's cool. Like I realized like some girls were just like, oh, okay, yeah, I got sex, it was good. Then there's ones where like the personality, they have the personality to them that match mine. I'm like, yeah, this is awesome.
Mhm.
So I'm definitely gonna keep them around for a little while to see kind of
Mhm.
where it goes.
Right. Yeah, like it's a different level of attraction when you're into somebody besides just how they look and how they make you feel. Like you really want to connect with a person. Just I always look for the mental connection, the spiritual connection to see if we have that kind of vibe, that same energy. And that's really what I gauge a lot of just friendships, relationships from, is if we have that connection, we have that strong, deeper connection,
Mhm.
then I'm more than likely to stick around and actually put effort into that relationship because I can see that that person has, you know, they have things that I admire or things or value that I share and want to kind of help them grow too. So
Mhm.
it's also it's yeah, it's just finding like people that are also leveling up too.
Right. No, that's true. Yeah, because like after after if you don't find that look for those qualities after a while too, like the sex with the girls, it's just gonna be because the sex isn't gonna do much for you. So that's why you want to have that personality and everything. You
Hmm.
find them where you can be on the same wavelength. But
Yeah.
like I said, that's what you're gonna develop too. But if you're gonna be around people who are gonna talk, women are just gonna like take you off your path, and they want you to make them the center of the universe. That's going to be like, that might be toxic to you if you're not looking for that. And that's why
Hmm.
you need that clarity because you're just going to, I know a lot of guys, I know some friends who've worked on some of their goals and stuff. And when they've met a girl, they just give that all up and they just focus on the girl and make the girl the center of this universe rather than focus on themselves. And in the
Hmm.
end, they screw it all up. And especially if that girl is manipulating. Some girls will have manipulated some of the friends, and
Hmm.
it's just like shot. I just say a couple of years, no, I said a couple of months or years down the road, it's just like they got punched in the face. And like, holy shit, I
Hmm.
gave up what I was doing for this toxic person, and they didn't have that awareness.
Right. Yeah, I mean, you got to be very careful with the people that you allow into your life, and you got to vet them. You got to screen out the people that maybe have a hidden agenda or they're just like very toxic people to be around because you don't know. Like you're not going to know after a week or a month of just getting to know somebody. That's something that gets revealed after like months and months of spending time with them and getting to know who they are on a deeper level. That's why like I guys should just never anyone really should never rush into relationships just off jump because they're really attractive or you feel like super excited to be around them. Like you're in the honeymoon phase. Like you got to let it go and just see where things progress because she could be completely different than how you thought she was a month or two after you meet her and you're like, oh, well, I didn't see this coming. So it's better to be uh, optimistically cautious than to be just jumping in right away.
Hmm. And that also is, you have to, that also involves having the emotional intelligence to control
Yeah.
those things. It's like a lot of guys, they don't put their emotions in check, and that therefore they kind of get sucked into that, and they forget
Hmm.
about themselves, and they just think, they just want that relationship because they think that's going to fulfill them.
Hmm. Yeah, I mean, and we've even talked about this in a previous live stream, like these movies and these things that are in the media, like they brainwash us into thinking that we need a woman to complete us, or like that makes you got to find your one true soulmate, and like your life will be changed forever. Like it's kind of like bombarded on us when we were young, and it's just not realistic. You don't we need each other as human beings, but like you can be completely okay, just doing your thing for a while, being on your own path for a long time. Um, it's y- you're not defined by how many women that you can um like sleep with, or just how many what a woman does to your life. Like, that's an addition, that's a bonus to having an amazing life. Like, that needs to be the focus.
Hmm. Right. And yeah, so we got to be careful as guys not to lose that focus. Because
Right.
that once if we lose that focus, then we lose focus on what it is we're working.
Mm-hmm. Totally. Yeah, because that's, again, that's where the attraction comes from. I mean, if she sees that you're a guy who's focused on his goals and, has a mission, like, that's gonna make her stick around, or want her that's gonna make her want to stick around long term.
Hmm. Yeah, that's true. But then if you give all that up for her, that's going to be a turnoff for her.
Totally. Totally. Yeah, and that's one of the issues is, you don't want to change who you are after you start dating this girl. Like, be the guy that initially attracted her. You got to maintain that throughout the whole course of it, because, she doesn't want you to just give up what you're doing just to be with her.
Hmm. Right. Yeah, and I think I've known some guys too who actually, when they did give up, like I said, a couple months down the road or a week, like that,
Hmm.
that's what was attracted her to the guy at first.
Yeah.
He had his own stuff going on. He was working on this and that, but when he gave that all up for her, that's where
Mhm.
my friend would get screwed over.
Yeah. Totally. I mean, I've seen it before too. Like, I've seen it in some of my friends that I've had, and they had things they were working on, and they get a girlfriend, and then you just don't see them for months, and like they stop hanging out with you, they stop hitting you up, and it's like, bro, what happened? You just went ghost, and they kind of lose themselves in it because they for whatever reason they think that that's the most important thing in the entire world, and they just lose sight of what's important.
Hmm.
It's not. It's a dangerous place to be.
Right, exactly. And no, you got to be aware of that too. Like, it's like, yeah, that
Hmm.
is a dangerous place to be. Plus, like, you end up wasting like a lot of time too if you get suckered into that.
Yeah.
So that's why it's important that you don't get sucked into that, because like you know you got a lot of you're putting on giving up, and you got a lot going on, and you give that up, like you're just like going to lose time on, and just when you give that up, when you're focusing everything on the women and not yourself. So you want to be sure that you stay focused on your goals or whatever it is you're working on while you're going out there, and don't get sucked in to like something, don't give up everything that you're doing just for, give the woman all the 100% of your attention.
Hmm. Yeah. I like to. I always say this on my channel. Like, I like to use the analogy of like baking a cake.
Hmm.
Like, the way I look at.
Cake
Um,
sounds good.
I know I'm always hungry. That's why I'm like
Yeah.
that's why I'm talking about it on the channel. But like, I always use the cake analogy of like, okay, so women are essentially the toppings on the cake. Like, you like chocolate, you like little whipped cream, you like, I don't know, sprinkles, like whatever the hell you like, strawberries, whatever it is. Um, that's just the toppings. What's really is going to fulfill you is that base, that cake, that strong layer that is like the foundation of the whole thing. Like, you're not
Mhm.
just eating the toppings, you're eating the cake, the base. So I like to say that that's your life. That's an analogy for your life and the things that you're doing, your focus, your goals, your building yourself up as a man. And the women is just, it's the toppings on top. It's just the bonus of what's already there. So
Mhm.
don't get it twisted. Don't think that that stuff comes before the base, because without that, then these things you're useless. Like, you're not getting the full benefit.
Mhm. Right, that's true. It's like you said, it's like the extra topping on a cake or a
Yeah.
pizza, however you want to describe it.
Hmm. Pizza's a good one too. Same thing.
Yeah. That's, I mean, and like I said, guys, you gotta have that awareness. Like,
Hmm.
sometimes your mind go back and forth. And that's what we're, having discipline in your mindset. When you have discipline in your mindset, you're not going to get suckered into that when you meet a girl and have her, you know, throw you off your path. You're going to realize, hey, I'm important. I'm doing me. She's going to be on the side while when I need to relax and stuff. So, have that awareness definitely.
Hmm. Yeah, and it just like we were saying, it gives guys direction, and without direction, you can't lead properly. You're not going to feel confident. You're not going to feel competent, and it's just going to show up in how you relate to women because they're going to sense that.
Hmm. No, that's so true. Well, any final thoughts to cover everything? Talk about sum up everything we talked about today.
Yeah. Oh man, we talked about a lot of good stuff, man.
Yeah, it goes from one place to the next, from one place to the next. That's
Yeah,
that's why I like doing these shows.
100%, man. Me too. Yeah, I mean, I guess just in closing, to kind of wrap up everything that we talked about, like confidence really comes from doing. And the sooner that you can take action on the things that you want, the sooner that you can get clear on the things that you want, it just makes it that much more real. If you start to really think about what it is that you want out of life, like what kind of career do you want, what kind of relationships do you want, what kind of job, career, what kind of, you know, um, physical health, like what do you want yourself to look like, to be like, to sound like? Get very specific with that stuff and start
Mhm.
there if you don't know. Because without clarity, I mean, you're pretty much going to be, walking along life with no clear direction or purpose, and it's sad because a lot of guys live that reality, and I was living that for a while. So start with the clarity, get clear on that and on what you want, and take small actions to start getting there. Doesn't have to be perfect, but yeah, just start committing to the lifestyle that you want. Start living as that person now.
Mhm. Oh, well said. No, I agree too. Like, definitely, like you said, you have some clarity on what it is you want and who you want to become. If you haven't already, definitely take some time later on this evening or sometime like early, like tomorrow or next week, to think about that because you know, you may even if you might have some idea of what you want, but if you sit down there and actually write it out, you may write out some more stuff that you didn't know you had clarity on,
Hmm.
and from there, just figure out. I mean, mindset wise too, figure out like, okay, who do I want to become? What type of mindset do I want to have? What are the things that are holding me back from having that mindset? And really kind of write that out and focus on ways to develop that, positive and confident mindset, I should say, that you want um, to move forward and figure out like what, things that or you have to work on in that area to attain that. And then, yeah, definitely, I'd recommend go out there and just act. Just take action in your life because when you don't go out and take action, that's you're gonna get all frustrated with yourself for not taking the action. Take action on what we just told you here today about having clarity.
Hmm.
But definitely go out there. Definitely want to go out and take the action because like if you're not taking the action, that can just really frustrate you more. But when you actually go out there and act and break out of your comfort zone, that's when you're going to start to see a change in the way you think about yourself and and also the way your reality is for you. 'Cause when you go out there and you make shit happen, like that's you're gonna be like, holy shit, I did this, and you're gonna feel great about yourself compared to like, okay, well, I'm just sitting here doing nothing. I'm afraid to do this, and you're just gonna continue to build misery. So go out there and act. Don't be afraid to go break out of your comfort zone. Go for what it is that you want in life. Um, yeah, that's it. And thank you very much for coming on the panel. And like they can find you at the sophisticatedman.com, correct?
.net. Yeah, we're not a
Dot
dot
net.
com yet.
Okay. Okay.
Getting there.
Okay. Dot net. Sorry about that. And then
You're
also
good.
go to check them out at the Sophisticated Man. But you see the little at symbol right there. Just type that in. You're good to go. Yeah, guys, and be sure if you like the video, give it a thumbs up. Also, if you haven't subscribed, subscribe to the channel. We will be on here 2 weeks from now on the 26th. We're gonna have a like little. I'm gonna try to get some other guys to come on the show, so we'll have like a little panel discussion. So keep it. Well, I'll keep you guys posted on that through my social media and the community tab. And yeah, we'll catch you next time and rock on. Peace.
See you guys.